Phospholipids. Phospholipids, I mentioned earlier, it helps make cell membranes. Okay, the plasma membrane, okay, cell membrane, plasma membrane. I can't even spell. Plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane, cell membrane is the same thing. All right. I need a cell membrane for a cell to function normally. If a cell membrane is not functioning normally, the tissue can't function properly, i.e. the organ can't function properly. Okay. But I mean, this is really necessary for nerve cells. Okay. If I don't have the plasma membrane just right, nerve cells don't conduct electricity properly. Right? So that's why I have that listed here specifically. Right? If electricity can't be conducted properly, then I can't get information to go from my brain down to my pinky finger or my pinky toe. Pretty similar. I don't think I'm going to have a picture asking you to look at it, but I mean, it is kind of similar. I mean, it has fatty acid, has glycerol, so it's kind of similar to a triglyceride. But as you can see, it has some extra stuff added to it. And really, it's in the name, phospholipid phosphate group. Okay? It's really phosphate with choline. Right? So here is a typical kind of phospholipid right here. Right? The name is called lecthin. As you can kind of see, when it comes to this molecule, we have two regions associated with it, a hydrophilic region and a hydrophobic region. Hydro means what? Anybody? Bueller. Anybody? Hydro means what does phobic mean? Yes. Thank you, Miss Lee. Philic means love. It loves the water. Phobic means fear. You fear it. It fears the water. The great thing about this lectin molecule is that it forms barriers and boundaries. How in the hell does it do that? Right here. We have that phosphate head orientated towards the water. Where's the water? Right all out here. Where's the water? All right in here. Where is no water? Right here. Within that phospholipid bilayer, your cell membrane. So I have all these little phosphate heads with that choline molecule there, all orientated towards the water. So these lectin molecules here always form this amphipathic structure, a hydrophilic portion and a hydrophobic portion. This is what helps us to separate inside from outside, outside from inside. Okay. Not only is this going to be important for helping to create a cell membrane, for cells to get stuck together to make a tissue, for tissues to come together and make an organ, but this is going to be a necessary thing we need in the digestion process as well. So I'll see this lectin molecule here again during the digestive process because I need it. I need it to have this hydrophilic and hydrophobic region. Otherwise, the entire time, I have this little gnat down here. Otherwise, the entire time that we break food down, remember, lipids don't dissolve in liquids, in water, okay? So they're going to congeal and separate out, and they're all going to get clumped back together again, okay? What's easier to absorb into a cell? A big old glob or a bunch of tiny little globs? And this is where you're all going to go in your head, tiny little blobs. Big glob, I can't absorb that thing into a cell. It's too damn big. It's not going to come across that barrier. Okay? But smaller things, damn tootin', I can bring those in. And that is going to be this lecthin molecule. It's going to be necessary in the steps for the digestion and absorption of lipids. As you can kind of see, I have cholesterol embedded throughout a plasma membrane or cell membrane as well. We'll talk about cholesterol. Cholesterol is not evil. A lot of cholesterol is evil, but you need this cholesterol molecule. If I don't have this thing, it's not as fluid. Okay? Cholesterol allows a little bit of bendability and stuff. Okay? Because as soon as I do this to my arm, what have I done to the blood vessel? I've bent it. If I don't have some bendability because of the cholesterol molecule and those kinked chains there in my cell membrane, in those fatty acid chains, okay, then it's not going to have that ability to be bendable. So I'm not going to get stuff bending around and getting it around that bend. Stuff's going to get stuck. I don't want that. Why is lecthin important? Here's the word. Okay. Lecthin is important because it acts as an emulsifier. An emulsifier is what is going to allow these fats to exist in small little bits. Okay. It helps water-soluble and water-insoluble mixtures, compounds, mix together. Okay. If not, all those tiny blobs of fat that I've been breaking down, all of a sudden in the small intestine, they're all going to start to congeal together because they don't like to be around water. So if I congeal all these little tiny things into this big blob, much happier. Biology 101 in like the first lab, right? You put oil in water and you're supposed to figure out what's going to happen. Spoiler, they're going to separate out, okay? Oil doesn't like to be dispersed within water. It separates. Lecthin helps us to prevent that. Let me just go over here. Here we go. Here's your emulsifier, your phospholipid, your lecthin, okay? Helps to create tiny little spheres. Hydrophilic heads, hydrophobic tails. There you go. Little bit of fat right here. And now I can have these two things coexist together. And we'll see this phenomena in your digestive tract. We'll see this in the small intestine. So understanding this tiny little concept, water loving, water fearing, and how that allows these things to interact with one another, allows this to be absorbed into a cell. Nothing's going to be absorbed in this fashion right here. Where would you find this? Well, I mean, eat egg yolks, there you go. Okay. You'll find choline in wheat germ. You'll find choline in peanut butter, soybeans. Okay. So not only is it a part of the phospholipid structure, it's also going to form something really dang important. Acetylcholine. Now, if you're sitting there and you're like, I'm gonna scratch my head on that. I don't know. All this movement right here that I just been doing, it's because of acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter, okay, just a chemical messenger that tells your bicep contract, boom. Wrist contract, boom. Finger contract, boom. All of these actions are conveyed from the brain to the effector, the muscle, via this neurotransmitter acetylcholine. And if you don't produce a whole heck of a lot of acetylcholine, that can affect some cognitive issues. And you see lower production of acetylcholine in individuals who suffer from some longer term dementia, okay? As dementia can continue, you get a decrease in the ability to form acetylcholine, which can affect how the brain communicates with itself. Not a good thing. Okay, we'll talk about dementia later in the semester.